Well, hello there. I'm Jonas Harding Jr., Paducah film buff, and I would like to personally welcome you to Maiden Alley Cinema, a Kentucky staple with a rich history and an exciting future. Now, before we dive into tonight's feature, I would like to share with you a bit of that rich history in hopes that you will come to realize just how significant this establishment really is. And if you love film half as much as I, Jonas Harding Jr., Paducah film buff, do, you may even feel moved to further support Maiden Alley Cinema with a monetary donation. The theater was constructed in 1950, and unfortunately, the rumors that have been circulating about the use of unpaid child labor in that construction are true. But that's a part of our history that we certainly aren't proud of and have gone on to rectify. With our free children's show every Saturday morning. Bring your little ones down at 10 this Saturday to see a classic tale of adolescent love, Stanley Kubrick's 1962 adaptation of Lolita. The theater screened its first film in 1951, The Thing from Another Planet. Sadly, audience members, mistaking the film for a documentary, fell into a panicked riot, damaging the theater irreparably in the process. It would be another 12 years before the theater was repaired, and another 14 before another film was screened. Businessman Ralph Kaplenberg took control of the theater in 1963. The folklore that had grown around the abandoned building in the previous decade left locals much too frightened to approach it, allowing Kaplenberg to claim ownership simply by having the courage to enter the building. A crew of out-of-town laborers was able to get the place back in working order, and with signs explaining the definition of fiction placed on every entrance, Kaplenberg was able to attract a steady stream of satisfied moviegoers for the next 15 years. Following Kaplenberg's death in 1980, the theater was put up for sale. Using recent lottery winnings, amateur stuntman and youth minister Ricky the 11th Commandment Bratcher
propelled, birds propel, eagles don't propel. We said, hooka, 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 hooka.
Purchased the theater to host youth rallies and screen his locally made faith-based action films. Local teens were treated to such classics as Slow Train to Golgotha and Daniel and the Island of the Robot Lions. Tragically, Bratcher was fatally injured by a pyrotechnic malfunction while filming 1987's Rocket Out of Nazareth, leading the theater to once again go on the market. Local restaurant tycoon Ruth Everett purchased the theater, managing to transform the establishment into a prosperous mainstream theater, showing the latest Hollywood hits. Beginning in 1997, the theater showed only James Cameron's Titanic, 4 times a day, 7 days a week. It was a bold move that attracted even bolder profits. Titanic's run came to an end in 2003 when Miss Everett passed away and the theater was sold to its current owners, quickly becoming the center for quality independent films and classic blockbusters that Paducah knows and loves today. However, Maiden Alley Cinema is not only making history through these quality pictures, but by hosting a variety of culturally important live events. In 2013 alone, Maiden Alley Cinema made national headlines not once, but twice. First, when it hosted a music festival sponsored by the Paducah chapter of the American Quilter Society, Quilt Fest, featuring acts as diverse as Roger Allen's Jazzilla and the Lonely Little Navajo River Whisperers Flute Band. Then again, when it hosted a real estate seminar by Czech ambassador Crispin Glover. Already, this year even, Maiden Alley Cinema has made history once again. In fact, it was this very location where regionally semi-recognized man of letters Joshua Johnston finally got it in gear and asked the love of his life, Kaylin Goodman, if she would marry him. And she said, yes, thank God. So in honor of those two lovebirds, tonight's feature will be the film that started it all. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Like the true film buff that I, Jonas Harding Jr., Paducah film buff am, I've dug into the archives for tonight's feature to find a real piece of cinematic history. This is a script for the film, originally given to Mr. Johnston by Miss Goodman in the 8th grade. Kids, enjoy the show.